And we're live. We're live. Welcome back, everyone. It is episode 82 of the Happy Hour, the Wine for the People program, the only show left on the internet where I guess we don't take the wines as seriously, or ourselves as seriously as the wines. Oh, we don't take anything seriously. Guys, we have two absolutely amazing guests. Firstly, I want to know who's got a comment first. We've been having a bit of a fun game with our chat service. I want to know whether we're here, like you can hear us absolutely fine, because I know we've had a bit of trouble with the sound just recently. But notwithstanding, we have two amazing guests on tonight. And it's been one of those things I've been, when we started this probably, it was like 3 months ago now, I guess we were just trying to survive, weren't we, Law? We're trying to have a bit of fun, trying to build a little bit of wine community. Then we decided to break down the barriers between natural wine and, I guess, commoditized wine by showcasing natural winemakers and commercialized winemakers. Then we decided, you know what, screw it, there is no boundary, it's just in our own heads. We started getting young people that were at the helm of, incredibly traditional wineries like Justine Hinchke. And then quite recently, we thought it would be really fun to actually bring on board people that have actually been really quite instrumental in our own growth. And of course, I'm talking about Candice and Frewin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Our pleasure. Thanks for having us.
And it was funny because we were sitting down having a chat just before, and Rachel chiming in straight away. We should get wine in glasses.
Thank you.
And what I always do, obviously, everyone rocks up here about an hour early. We try to have a bit of a drink. It's Happy World Gin Day today, everyone. So we had a bit of a G&T before.
Had a gin. Yeah, we're ready.
Happy Gin Day.
But, I've of course got a few sort of talking points in my head, but you were so quick to jump on one of the main ones, which is, for those who are playing at home, if you're familiar with Truffle Hound, if you're familiar with Cherry Fields, which is now called Jungle Jungle, that's actually courtesy to these guys right here, really. How did that actually come about? It was like a random phone call, wasn't it? From you?
No, I think we bumped into each other down at, what was it called, Barrio or something? It was down on the riverside. It was the Adelaide Festival.
Oh yeah, Barrio. When that used
oh
to be
my
on.
God!
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah.
Wow! That was wicked fun.
Yeah, we were. I was toast, and we were just talking about. You were talking about Italian varieties, and I said, yeah, well, we've got this vineyard you guys that we're taking fruit from. You're welcome to have some. And
absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, that led us to Clare Valley, Polishhill River, a place that we didn't think we'd actually be making wine from. Turns out it's actually now one of our most crucial and important vineyards that we actually source from. But already getting a couple of people that are chiming in already. Awesome work, guys. Rachel Sutter, of course. Thank you so much. It's great to see you, Rachel and Sue. Tell us about yourselves. So you're both trained winemakers. You're both very accomplished winemakers.
Thank you.
And then, but the confluence with craft wines. How did that come about? What was the sort of the main gist behind that?
I guess we wanted to start seeing some single vineyard wines expressed around the place. We had the pleasure of drinking. We made wines for different people, and we had the pleasure of drinking stuff that would be blended away the next day. So we'd see all that.
Does it break your heart?
Yeah. So you'd see this beautiful parcel, and then the next day it'll get pumped into a tank. So we would bring a bottle home, and we would drink it ourselves.
We were working for big wineries back then, so we see a lot of different vineyards from a lot of different growers.
Yeah, and a lot of different things just get lost into a larger blend, or just stuff that we liked, and we thought, well, I would like to take that to the people and show them what we were seeing. So
and those like really specific vineyard characters as well as the specific regional characters.
And of course, if you've been working for these people for quite a while, like you start to actually pick up on what's actually vineyard and what's vintage.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Especially with the right grape variety, it's really quite. We see this with Fiano in Clare Valley. It doesn't matter what we do to Fiano in Clare Valley, it always tastes like this. It's weird. It's like tropical pineapple. Overtly ripe.
Yeah.
Except it's like 11% alcohol, and it's got like a pH of 3, and it's just like if we picked it any earlier, it would be insipid. You wouldn't be able to drink it.
Yeah.
So it has to be that way, and it doesn't really sort of matter what we do.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to talk about so wines that just get blended away. I remember we're dealing with a grower in the Riverland, an amazing Fiano plot in the Riverland, who, when we go into vineyard and go, hey, look, can we buy this fruit, please? They go, no, it's contracted to X winery.
Yeah,
It sucks. And we got a call, I think like a year later, going, we're just sick and tired of not being able to. I didn't realize this at the time. I was very insensitive to it. A lot of growers truly love to be able to know that their wine is going to be a wine.
Yeah.
And to be able to taste their own wine. There's like
we've really seen that as well.
Heart and soul attachment to it. They say, every single year they come in, they trial it out, and they're giving it a go, and they've got a 3-year contract. And we took the contract because it was great. It's good money for us. But we'd rather take the risk of a smaller producer just so we can actually see this go into something that's actually of worth, of value.
Yeah.
So it's something, but you've gone the whole hog. Like, you own a vineyard now.
We've got Aaronmore. So that came about in a weird way, I guess.
I mean, who in their right mind buys a vineyard? It's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, we bought a vineyard to make wine.
I suppose that makes
not
sense.
to
sell the
grow
fruit.
grapes and sell fruit. So that was the
That's
main
how you
reason.
could justify it.
Yeah, and we're making it for ourselves. We're growing it for ourselves. So
Had you ever run vineyards before that?
Not run vineyards. No, we dealt with a lot of growers and had experience with a lot of vineyards, but
I've done a lot of vineyard work. The reason why I moved to Australia was I established a vineyard north of Griffith in a place called Helston, and I was
Tiny place, right?
So helped
not a lot of fruit up there.
It was a big vineyard, and the property was, I think it was 1,000 hectares or something in the property, and they were putting in 200 hectares, and I was helping establish this vineyard, and that's kind of what brought me to the country, and and I was pretty keen not to do that, after I did that.
So obviously jumping out into Adelaide Hills, the Aaronmore Vineyard. So and one thing, I've seen you guys speak passionately about this before. In fact, I've actually never seen anyone else speak more passionately about organics as you guys do.
Yeah.
What was that just a natural progression? Because organics in the hills, is it tough?
Not hugely tough. It's doable. It's absolutely doable.
Do you have disease issues? Do you have
disease? I mean, the disease issues are there, but in a bad year when there's going to be disease that would wipe out
2011.
Yeah.
Like a 2011.
We haven't had a 2011 yet.
The 2011 wiped out conventional vineyards and
So,
the grapes look like little polar bears.
It was a bad year, and we haven't experienced that yet. But
we saw some great wines out of 2011, though. Like we have. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen as well. The Cabernet did remarkably well, especially in the Vale. But it's just one of those. It's one of those tough ones. I guess.
We're on a hill, so when it does rain, water goes downhill and disappears, which is
helps.
Yeah, so it helps
accumulate.
if you have like in 2017 was actually an extremely wet year.
Yeah.
So if we were on a flat, there was a series of 100 mil rainfalls in 2017 leading up to. I remember. Yeah. And our place is built for rain, so the rain goes downhill and it's gone. So this was within 24 hours, pisses down and then it's gone. So we had great fruit. We do a little bit more work than we don't rely on sprays. We go out there and actually we physically remove leaves from the southern side of the vine, so that the sulfur sprays we use actually can
are a lot more,
a lot more effective, and also there's a lot more airflow. And our sites.
We have a constant breeze sort of coming down through the vineyard.
So was this a thing though when you were looking for that particular? Well, firstly, were you looking for the vineyard in the first place?
No.
Was it like you were like?
It kind of we started taking fruit from Aaronmore from 2013. Like literally our first vintage, we took fruit from there, but we were buying the fruit from the people that owned the property at the time.
Okay, so that what a dream.
Try before you buy.
Try before you buy.
That's so cool. And they just decided, look, we're done and dusted.
They weren't spending as much time at the property as they had in the past. They were sort of looking to move into state. We were
Yeah.
We were buying fruit from them, and we'd come to their house a few times, and we ended up being able to rent their house.
Oh wow!
So
you guys
then
were
we-
just Inception.
Yeah.
You're slowly moving. It's incredible.
So then we rented the property while we bought
Yeah.
their fruit. For I think that was from 2015.
Yeah, then we realised
And
we were buying the fruit and renting the house.
Yeah.
And we were like,
So and they were keen to sell. So yeah, it sort of
It
just
just
flowed
worked
on
out
from there.
so incredibly
Yeah.
well.
So that was
Yeah.
2016.
Was it organically managed prior to you guys taking over?
No.
Did you nudge the growers at all and going, hey, you know,
yeah, we always do.
We
yeah.
always express it, you know,
Yeah.
It's
something
hard.
we'd prefer, but it's not
We say
doesn't
we
like
pay
rate.
more as well. So it's always,
Yeah.
there's always a financial incentive.
Yeah.
So there's some growers that would just never, you know, the idea of it that just
That's just a no.
Yeah, it's
a
just-
flat out no, because they're just not willing to do that extra work or
and it's the cost, the paperwork and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like, is
Yeah.
there a lot of administrative sort of cost in regards to running something organically?
We're certified organic, so there is a little bit of administrative. I wouldn't say cost. We do it anyway. There is some administration that goes with it. So if you're pretty loose with your paperwork, then it would be a difficult process. But
we've got
we
really
really like to record things.
we're
and
on
structure things.
really
You're on
good ball
point.
with
Yeah,
our
yeah.
record keeping. So for
So-
us it wasn't a huge step, but
They just sit in the office and we just pull things out of the filing cabinet
Yeah.
for them, and they look at it, and then so it's just
It's actually pretty easy.
It's pretty
yeah,
easy.
and it's
not
just
a-
making sure you're saying what you're doing. Yeah.
So when 2017, came, there was all those rain events, and it was the first real wet year for you guys.
Yeah.
Were you shit scared?
No, not really.
No, because our fruit looked amazing.
Yeah.
We just.
It sounds so easy.
Yeah, I think maybe we are blessed, like Frew said, with the rain sort of draining away, but also that wind. That
Yeah.
it is very windy at our place at times. So we get a big rain event, and if it's windy for the next 2 days, everything is dry.
Also,
It's just
the rules with our vineyard, I like to no touchy with the bunches. So when we crop thin every year.
So it's like social, like isolation.
Yeah.
Social distancing with the bunches. The bunches are all equidistant apart.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like they, you actually, make sure that you don't
Yeah.
have, right.
no what I call cluster fucks. So all clustered together. So
That's
and then they
never
must
actually
look
heard
like
it called that. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they sort of flower in together.
Yeah,
And
and
they
they
basically
become
grow in
one.
together.
Yeah.
kind of grow into
It's
each
quite
other.
literally a clusterfuck.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
normally we just cut the whole thing out for that. So we prune it away so that there's always too much fruit, and then we manage it by dropping fruit. In a light year like the last 2 years, we haven't had to do that because the fruit's been really nicely spaced. But we've actually had a reasonable crop.
Yeah,
so
right.
we've still had. I wouldn't, it's not. And then we kind of crop it. So if you imagine socks on a clothesline, that's kind of the bunches are just one bunch, just all hanging there, having their own space.
Do you reckon there's because in Australia, when trying to describe, I guess, the cooperative that we run, the way that I tend to start with is that, in Australia we have this really weird system where growers grow fruit and they sell fruit.
Yeah.
And wineries, they make and they sell wine. That's their function. They do, whereas overseas, growers grow fruit, they make wine, and they negotiate and enterprise the wine out to vignerons and blending houses. Larger blending houses who whack a name of quality, a stamp of quality, which is their brand. And that's how, large parts of Burgundy work, large parts of the Rhine Valley, of course, work this way. Do you think in Australia that, because it sounds like you're doing a whole bunch of stuff that, we deal with a few growers as well. Like, there is no grower that we deal with that would put that much energy into doing that, unless it wouldn't be a small amount of financial incentive. You need to double the price. Like to go through to not just even the implication of dropping fruit is hard enough, let alone, we're not gonna spray with this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go and take leaves off on the southern side so we can actually get more penetration into the canopy, and onto the fruit, and even sort of pruning judiciously to be able to overcrop. Have you ever managed to find any growers that would actually do stuff like that at all?
I think how many have we got? We've got 10 of them.
We've got some really good growers.
That's amazing.
Really, really good growers. Yeah.
Every single one of them. Yeah.
They're all willing to do that, and they all do that. And Gruner's the classic one at overcrops. So we didn't have to this year. Actually, nobody did, but generally in a normal year with Gruner, you'll be dropping fruit to the ground. So it's just part of it because the cropping, it's just so
I suppose
heavy.
that gives you that degree of control, that degree of finesse.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of, I've never had it sort of described as no touchy with the bunches though. That's actually like, it makes sense though. It makes a lot of sense. It would decrease obviously any sort of disease risk, I guess.
Yeah, especially in things growing around posts and things like that. So just got to, so they're sort of hanging out there and the airflow's there, and so they can get just a little bit of dappled light.
So how often are you in the vineyard then?
Our vineyard?
Yeah. Well, obviously you live there.
We live there, so every day, pretty much.
Yeah,
just wandering around every day. Yeah, in harvest, every couple of days tasting, and
I mean, we don't do the work because there's a we've got people that come in.
How big is the vineyard?
2 hectares.
Yeah, right. So it is like a handful.
Yeah,
it's a decent size. Decent size vineyard.
I mean, it's teeny tiny compared to some of the really massive ones around, but for us, it's
a perfect amount of fruit.
It's it's exactly right. Yeah.
So I've said we have a word for like some of our greatest, most hardcore fans called we call them Unico zealots.
Yeah.
Because they were quite offended when I called them unicorns. But we do have a mega fan of yours who actually works here, Noah Ward. I'm not sure what a craft mega fan is called, but if there was one, it's definitely him.
We need a name.
And so he's chimed in going, "Hi guys, love your wines. What makes you guys so passionate about varieties like Gruner or Pinot? Is it a climatic choice or is it site selection? Like why those varieties?"
Gruner, we started drinking in the early 2000s.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool, we were drinking Austrian Gruner.
It's always been
It was
cool.
like in our mind, it was like totally cool.
Yeah.
And we back then we thought the plan was to be the first people in the Adelaide Hills to plant Gruner. And we sort of had this dream to plant in the Adelaide Hills, basically.
Climatically, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. But
I like the texture and the weight that comes with it, and the flavours. Gruner's got a magical ability to pair well with food. So like it's just kind of the Gruner just pairs with the food. So whatever you're eating, the flavours that come out of the wine actually.
Obviously mid-palate weight, fleshy, but still retaining a really high sort of natural acidity as well, and really pliable. Like like it's quite a forgiving style of grape. We don't make any Gruner ourselves. The only way that I sort of liken to is a little bit like Fiano in that respect, where it's Fiano perhaps maybe a bit more fleshy, whereas Gruner is a little bit more finessed, more elegant.
It's pretty amazing what the styles that Gruner can make.
We've seen some wacko ones.
Really. In fact, this vintage we've been experimenting ourselves with some different things with Gruner in the winery.
Probably our proudest vintage so far.
Really?
Yeah. We're kind of the wines are bang on.
We've had some ideas.
That's really exciting.
We've done a few things differently. So they've just gone. They're going to getting bottled on Tuesday. So looking forward to October and showing everybody.
I've got to ask because I'm sure people at home are you guys the most positive couple ever? Because it's organics is fine. We have heaps of growers that they do tons of work for us, and the wines this year, 2020. Bushfire year, drought year, COVID year.
I mean, but the wines.
No worries, man.
The wines in the glass are beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like there was a good distraction to craziness going on the outside world. We were just focused in our little shed.
But I mean, look, we do have days when we go and taste the wines, and we're like,
Pinot. Pinot is.
You have days when you taste things and you think, this is not great, and then you taste it again the next day, and it. Wine does that. Wine's up and down. It's not the same every day. It's like
extreme with Pinot. Pinot is just.
And Pinot is the most finicky child in the world. So
Pinot pixies. We just say the pixies come and they fix it. Pinot changes so much.
Yeah.
They just make it magic in the bottle. And Pinot. I don't know how it happens, but
Pinot's a weird journey for winemakers. It can really destroy your heart. But it seems to work out in the end. So
do you guys fight at all? Obviously you working so closely together.
Oh, we totally fight about stuff that matters, but not usually about wine.
Not really.
So,
no, we wow. We don't. I wouldn't say we fight. We have disagreements, or we decide that we're not going to make a decision that day because we're both.
That is so sensible.
So, but of course I yell at him all the time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's like a relationship, isn't it? So
For sure. For
it's
sure.
just we're married, but we're also business partners. So
do you
have to
divide the roles up?
Yeah, we do. Divide the roles up.
Yeah.
So who's grand poobah of making the wine? Those wine making decisions.
We with the winemaking, I'd say that we both are.
We both, yeah.
Still sitting down, tasting through things, going what's the direction.
Yeah, and we're pretty. I mean, we're almost always in agreement with things, aren't we?
Yeah, we kind of plan to. We do a lot of planning of what
we do.
Like prior to what's gonna, what are we gonna do in the future and what style.
And a lot of talking, a lot of comparing, a lot of thinking back and what we have done, what we could do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, winemaking, just every year you learn something new, right?
Totally.
Like it just So you always have to think, what have I done and what can I do better every year in the vineyard
Candice,
and in the winery, and I keep like crazy records.
Nice. Yeah, she's got.
So I can see when we did a rack and return back in 2013.
Oh, that's cool.
She can look at her phone now.
Oh, that is really cool.
So I know everything we've done with every single wine since the beginning of time. Yeah.
So and you're tracking like things like I imagine it will be like harvest date to like first rack and stuff like that, and turbidity.
Yeah.
Even?
No, not so much because we don't. Really
there's another one you can add into that.
An NTU machines are huge though. There's big things that take up
too much space. We don't.
Winery, we don't. Ours is...
So then, for you guys, then you're really excited about the wines that are out of this year, and you've been doing some experiments, and for someone that's obviously holding so much data basically at your fingertips regarding your own wines and constantly learning, what constitutes an amazing experiment, something that you're playing around with? Like, what are the things that are fascinating you guys at the moment
in our winery? The Gruner, I think.
Without giving away too much. What you can do with Gruner is and the flavours that have come out this year are. Please tell me it's like a craft pet nat Gruner coming. Please tell me.
Never. There will never be a pet.
There will never be a pet nat Gruner. I mean, never say never, but not from us. Maybe from someone else.
Skin contact? Have you played around with
we always
skin
contact.
Extended skin contact?
Not extended. We've found about 48 hours is a good amount of time for Gruner. So
we've got the luxury of having our own press and no one else needing to use it. So
you can take as much time as you want. You can even leave it in the press.
We leave it in the press. Gas it.
Lock down the vents, blow up the bag a little bit so it's not on our ledge.
Yeah.
And if it starts to tickle, you start to kind of prickle a bit.
When we taste it, or if there's a red that needs to be pressed, then that
will make it sound so easy. I'm so jealous.
Well, if you make it easy, if the winery works easy, then it happens. If it's really if everything's difficult, that's when you just don't do things. And, so we just try and make everything as easy as possible. So when you do want to do something difficult, you can do it difficult.
So it's obviously a lot of planning.
But also some winging it and some, we should have done that yesterday. Like the stuff that happens in wineries.
Had too much Austrian Gruner the night before. So prior to craft, where were you, Candice? Where did you cut your teeth?
Well, I grew up in the Barossa Valley.
Cool.
So,
Gruner country.
Shiraz country. Grew up in the Barossa. My father was involved in the wine industry, so I sort of grew up around going into the crusher at Penfold and things like that.
Cool.
That sort of thing.
Kaiser Stall.
Yeah.
Cool.
Didn't have any aspirations for winemaking out of high school, but Dad got me a job on the local bottling line because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
You were really quickly, you were like, I really want to be a winemaker.
I need to get that out of here. So I started work on a bottling line, and that was a good thing to learn, I guess. And then eventually went into lab work. And I was working for Tarek Bottlers in the Barossa Valley, which we spoke about earlier.
Because they were bottlers back then.
They were, yeah. As well
I mean,
as
it wasn't that long ago, but yeah, they used to have
Yeah.
Tarek used to have like a whole Tarek, a massive distillery up in the Barossa.
Yeah.
But they used to make their own gins, make their own brandies, make their own everything. It was
I was
incredible.
working for the wine bottling side of it, so that was back in
They did
the late
bottling
90s.
for wine?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
they still
had
do it? They might still do it.
No, I think
I thought they were
I think
just
it's
purely
distilling
distilling now.
Yeah. But yeah, from there, then I actually ended up going to the Riverland and working for Hardy's at various dates. So
Yeah, wow.
I started in the lab there and then moved into winemaking and ended up, I think I was there for 8 years or so. Yeah.
Was it fun? I mean, if you're there for 8 years,
Yeah, it was.
there must have been.
It was fun.
We had a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. Like, it was a fun
Afterwards,
time,
yeah.
and it was.
And obviously, you guys were that's where you guys met? Because you're up, obviously, you were a fair way north from there around
Yeah.
Griffith Way?
No, I was working for Kingston.
He was working for Kingston Estate.
Oh, no way.
So we met at the Riverland Wine Show.
Petty Vidot country.
Yeah. Yeah, it is with Petty Vidot, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's an amazing. So, what year was that when you were at Kingston Estate?
That was 2005.
We met in 05.
No, 2004 I was there.
Yeah.
2004 I started.
Yeah.
Were they still, because it seems to me like Kingston Estate's in a constant state of construction. Were they just?
Yeah. When I started, they were doing 30,000 tons, and they did 100 when I left. So yeah.
You contributed to greatness. Yeah. No, because it was like I was hearing stories that they were just bringing in so many grapes, and they were actually waiting for concrete to get poured to put the tanks up.
Yeah, totally.
So they can fill the tanks up.
Yeah.
And like I'm used to, like, in a vintage scenario, just like trying to empty and clean bins to get the bins out.
Yeah.
Not pouring concrete to actually do the footings for tanks just to fill them.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
incredible. Like and there's like some really cool time lapse stuff of that winery as it's
Yeah.
expanded.
They had like
Yeah.
a cherry picker, I think, one vintage, because they didn't have any catwalks up, and they were building catwalks as
It's so industrious though. Like
Yeah.
if you talk to, it's Bill, isn't it? Who's the big guy behind Kingston Estate. You talk to Bill, and he's actually quite a fascinating guy, because I think he just went and he was like, one day he was like, I'm just gonna. The Petit Verdot thing came way later with Kingston Estate.
You should get
Like,
him here. Yeah.
Seriously, no, he's like one of the most amazingly opinionated people on planet
totally,
Earth. But he's just inside. It's like, one day I just decided to make wine. Did 60 tons, sold it. Did like 200 tons, sold it. Did 300 tons, sold it, and just the whole thing just grew astronomically. And he's
He's a
just
business person.
yeah,
Great
he's
business
just
mind.
all to like I think his largest market's like Aldi. Does all this
Yeah.
stuff for Aldi.
Lidl.
Hey,
Lidl.
What's Lidl?
They're bigger than Aldi in
They're bigger than Aldi?
in
Germany?
They're probably the same size. Yeah, and they go through the Eastern Europe as well, so they're exactly they're similar discounted.
But I've never seen anyone that's made Petit Verdot taste like Shiraz before.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting. It's pretty fascinating, sort of his sort of view on it too. And he's very open, very transparent actually. Amazing
600
guy.
acres across the road from the winery. They've got a Petit Verdot. I think it's the largest planting of Petit Verdot. In the world.
And apparently, so largest planting of Petit Verdot in the world and longest rows, I believe.
No, that's Angos. I think it's Angos.
Angos have the longest row because they call it. I think I'm paraphrasing. I'm pretty confident they call it Suicide Row.
Yeah, okay.
Because when you're harvesting it, you just want to.
Oh yeah.
Go on forever. Forever and ever.
You'd had to come across a puddle and get to reverse, get to reverse back.
Imagine pruning it.
Oh,
like,
that would be. That would be.
that would be terrible.
I think it's just hedging up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Minimal pruning. I guess you
Yeah.
just kind of barrel prune it. It's incredible. Like it's fascinating to see how much of that world of Australian wine isn't told. And nor is it told, I guess, accurately, but so many of the greatest winemakers in this country have cut their teeth there. Yourselves, the likes of Ed Carr, have all spent their time in, the Riverland, or the Murray-Darling, or the Riverina.
It's definitely been a big part of our lives and a big stepping stone for where we wanted to
Massive,
go.
yeah.
But also, I think it's really good for anyone starting out in wine to work in a bigger place and get your head around that.
You get to experiment a lot more and see a lot more, and if you can make good wine out of,
mediocre fruit. It's easy to make. It's easy to make mediocre wine out of grapefruit. That's like, anyone can do that. But making good wine out of something that's mediocre, or experiment and things that could just be blended away.
Yeah.
When your experiment doesn't work, it is a good thing to.
We're talking about making mediocre wine out of grapefruit. I did my time in not bigger wineries, big wineries, like overtly massive wineries.
Which ones?
I was at Jacobs Creek and with Tinlands.
Yep.
So under the Randallverse, Warren Randall's verse.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like I didn't know how this possibly could happen, but how we tackled it was fascinating. It was a year, and I think it could have been like 2000. I want to say it was 2012. We made too much good wine. We had a contract for like C grade wine.
Yeah.
And you have to, in these big bulk contracts, they denote the A grade, B grade, C grade, and you eventually figure out exactly what is which, and then you make a whole bunch, and they come and they buy it from you in massive tankers. And quite often at this winery, it was pretty amazing. They bought it pre-malolactic as well. They were just like, yep, just get it in. We just know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
But we had a contract for C grade, and we made too much A grade.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, this will be interesting. We had to turn like 100,000 litres of A grade wine into C grade wine. So how do you fuck a wine that has already been made? And it was just...
why do you do that? That's the question. Why would it...
Why? Yeah, no, because you don't want to...
just go, well, okay, cool.
We'll just because you don't want to drive the price up. You don't want to drive the expectation that you're going to sell A grade for C grade. So we put it in a press and used it as a cement mixer to just... basically like a massive rotary fermenter to get,
just
the massive amounts of tannin extraction.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It is absolutely terrible. But you learn so much about what you can do to wine in places like that.
Yeah.
So you feel on a smaller scale you can actually take more calculated risks. So look, I know when something's going to be, reductive, you can flash rack it and you can be pretty brutal with it. And it's not going to screw the wine up.
It does teach you where you can be game, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
and especially when you can be game in the process of making wine.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to end up treating it too carefully. And I do wonder sometimes if you treat a wine too carefully, you can end up doing sort of the opposite thing. It's a little bit like...
Well, it's like sulfates, You need to add an amount of sulfur and you do it in small increments.
Yeah.
You're better off going for the one hit, and then it's better for the wine and those sort of things you learn through experience, I guess. And be confident to do it, or
just getting frustrated that everything keeps getting bound by some sort of like aldehyde thing. You're like, man, the sulfur just keeps going up and up and up. And like inherently, you want to try to find obviously a way to lower it. All right, you brought a blind tasting wine with you. Thank you very much, Laura. Would you mind grabbing this bottle? And have you already opened it? Have you?
We have, and we'll put
a
generic cork in it and taking the cap off too, just to make it artificial.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
These guys are true wine people. Do you have a black glass there, Laura? Because we will be doing blind tasting because we've got a double header tonight. I'll roll with a blind glass, and then once I'll figure out whether it's okay. Give me half a second. Oh wow! Yeah, cool.
Do you want
All
that as well?
I mean, it's
option.
You should definitely.
To work out if it's red or white.
It's red or white. It's. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a. This is dope. It's definitely.
Hey, Andrew.
It's definitely white-ish. It's definitely white-ish. If that's a fair thing to say.
It's definitely a fair thing to say.
Yeah. So
white-ish.
because I think it's white, but I think purely based on the smell, and especially for those that are chiming in from a podcast standpoint, we're experiencing something called rancio. It's an incredible aroma of sort of almonds and nuts and honey and marmalade that's all sort of rolled in together, courtesy of something that's been essentially matured under floor, which I'm assuming is going to render this not red, not white, but maybe a little bit orangey, browny. Relatively cool. All right, cool. Let's pour it out. No, not the wine itself. Let's pour it into glasses so we can. We need to buy more black glasses so we can have groups on.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Oh man, this is dope.
Cool.
This is dope. This is. Honestly, Australia has, by like just pure metrics, a much, much longer history, richer history of fortified production
Yeah.
Totally, yeah.
than we have dry wine production.
Yeah.
And it's just like dropped off the face of the earth, and it's so frustrating that we aren't continuing on like a tradition of some. That perhaps this style maybe not the most relevant style, I think, for sweeter style, higher ABV for I guess current times. But there is something
important part of the history, though, isn't it?
Beautiful about this wine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Oh man, that's next level good. And quite often you can get these for really good deals, so you actually don't need to part an arm and a leg
Absolutely, yeah.
to be able to access a fortified that is just absolutely outrageous.
Yeah.
And the age that comes with them, like, just, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine, laying something down for 12 years and
Oh, you should have seen this. I used to
and asking
have
20
my
bucks a
hands
bottle
on
for
it. Hardy's, the old. Yeah.
Yeah. 100-year-old stuff.
Yeah, the muskets, where there was this tiny amount at the bottom of a barrel, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Now this one's going to be hard. Okay, so you've played options before?
Yeah.
Yep. Do you want to ask the questions?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, countries. Is it from Australia, France, New Zealand?
Wow. I mean, I'd be surprised if this came from New Zealand. I'd be so impressed. I'd be so incredibly impressed because I'm completely unaware of any fortified production inside New Zealand.
Well, New Zealand is exactly the same as Australia. New Zealand. Yeah.
Really?
Frew's a Kiwi, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I heard that. No, but I've just never had the opportunity to try any floor matured fortifieds out of New Zealand. I would have thought, in terms of temperature, it might have been maybe on North Island, perhaps warm enough to be able to.
Come on, bro. It's the same. There's more parts of New Zealand. It's just really wet.
Yeah.
I don't think it's free. I think it's Australian.
Okay.
Yep.
So
Cool.
It is Australian.
So.
We go state.
Was that?
State.
Oh,
State.
yeah. Okay.
State would be hard because there's. Yeah.
Okay. Well. Is
I'm
it?
like dominating this is so delicious.
Yeah.
Is it Western Australian, South Australian, or Victorian?
That's a hard one. I was hoping.
Yeah. I was just gonna give you the three.
Well, I mean, look, it could be Swan. It could be Swan Valley. I think WA's the red herring in that situation because it could be equally. I mean, Vic, SA, or New South Wales even. There's incredible Riverina-based producers that do this to this quality. It's hard, man, because like South Australia can do this, and this is entering like a realm where I'm actually pretty shit at. This is actually quite a tricky one
I
for me.
would probably be able to guess it. So, yes, you might get it right.
I think it's Victorian.
Do you want to guess again?
Oh no, it's not Victorian. No. I think it's Victorian. No, it's not. It's South Australian, is it?
Yeah.
SA. Wow. Cool. It's high acid, man. It's like it's looking amazing.
So
This is so good.
is it Riverland Clare or Langhorne Creek?
Riverland, Clare. Oh man, this could be something out of a cheeky 7 Hill. Yeah, I mean, Barossa and Fortifieds tend to be a little bit clunkier than like this. This is really dainty and. Or is it salinity? Is it Langhorne? Ooh, could it be? I think it's Clare.
It's Clare? Okay. Yeah.
Wait, it is Clare?
It's not Clare.
No, really? Where is it?
Riverland.
Riverland.
No way!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. This is awesome.
That's why we thought you guys might be
This is
interested.
sick.
Yeah.
This is cool. Riverland's doing this. Oh
Okay,
man.
so it's a blended variety. So is the main variety, is it Colombard, Chardonnay, or Uni Blanc.
Well, I mean, that's like, you just... You know, Colombard and Uni Blanc are literally the same variety.
Are they?
Yeah, synonyms of the same variety. Well, I'm hoping it's not Chardonnay.
Are they? No.
Colombard.
No,
Colombard and Uni Blanc, aren't they the same variety?
No.
No, Uni Blanc and Trebbiano are the same variety.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologise.
Yeah.
No, so it's I don't think it's Uni Blanc because it's not so.
Trebbiano. Sorry, yeah.
I think it's man. I'm gonna say like my head's going. It's Colombard.
Yeah.
My head's like, it's definitely Colombard, but it's like, no, it's gonna be like Riverland Chardonnay, just something completely whack. Is it Colombard?
No, it's Riverland Chardonnay. Chardonnay Viognier.
That is so good. It's Chardonnay Viognier.
Yeah.
This is next level. Like, why haven't the Spanish figured this out yet?
I don't know.
Seriously? This is really good. Well, I suppose like no, that's Vidello. Wow, Viognier. Wow. This is probably the nicest tasting Viognier I've tried in Australia.
It is vintage.
Viognier is just got to say.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It is vintage. So is it 2015, 2005, or 1995?
Oh man. I think it's 2005.
What are just so
Yeah,
hard?
2005. What is it? What's that? That's 10, 15. I think it's 2005. 2005?
Yeah, 2005, yeah.
It's a year you guys met. You guys met?
Oh,
Is it?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
From the Riverland. You were in the Riverland.
Oh my gosh.
You fucking made this, didn't you?
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It's ours.
Really?
We haven't.
Are you guys
It's
impressed?
ours. We haven't.
We've got 7 barrels
We've
of
got
it,
7 barrels.
No
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
This is your one. Oh
Yeah.
wow, this is so cool.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yeah.
We haven't done anything with it. So,
It's just sitting there.
Yeah, sorry. We'll show you the label, and this
Is there actual... Whoa.
There's no
No,
label.
there's no label.
No, there's no label. No, it's like a handwritten thing.
There's nothing.
No, I just pulled it out of the barrel just before. Sorry.
A few people have, a few lucky people have been able to taste it in our cellar door, and we keep saying we're going to bottle it, and we still haven't gotten around to doing that.
Yeah, we kind of
Very
maybe want to
sorry.
bottle it when it's 30 or something. Yeah, no, something.
This is
50 or-
exceptionally good.
Thank you.
You know who I think would love this?
Who's that?
James Halliday.
Our mate.
Your mate James.
Your mate, James.
Your mate.
My mate James Halliday.
Our collective mate.
Our collective mate who thinks I'm a failure.
No,
as,
I think we wrote it off as a failure.
cheers, James. It's this as an orange wine, however, is not a failure. This is not.
His eyebrows
Guys,
will
this
get
is
all sticky.
insane.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So tell us how did this come about? Because I mean, you got 7 barrels of it. Obviously, you were working for other people in the Riverland at the time.
Yeah.
But how did the wine itself come about?
So it was water white when it was first kind of put to barrel. So it was it's been partially fermented and then a few by my and then we topped up with spirit. So it's kind of what you call like a Mistela or a Vengeon or whatever you want. Series, some kind of that kind of style.
You know that's like all the rage right now.
Yeah.
You don't. But you're like, nah, it's all good.
It's just sitting there. We really should do something with it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
How old is that now?
I've been trying to scrape
15 years?
15, yeah.
trying to scrape the mold off the outside of the barrel because it's all moldy on the outside and scrape it inside to get a floor going. But
So so the floor is no longer.
no, the floor it's been too alcoholic for the floor.
So that's
Too alcoholic,
that's
too sweet.
not been under floor at all.
No, not on the floor at all. It's just
Wow.
just come from being exposed. Well,
On ullage.
we've tried, we've tried, but I think it needs to be less sweet and less alcoholic for it.
What's the
Yeah.
alcohol at?
I've got no idea. Yeah.
Never tested.
7 barrels is big for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll buy a barrel.
Yeah.
Seriously, this? Yeah, absolutely. This is like, it's so awesome to see someone that's actually just so still psyched about fortifieds. Like this is, it's fantastic. Fortifieds in Australia are, I think, the most underrated, underexplored, forgotten aspects of wine culture.
It's just a weird thing to have sitting in your winery.
Yeah, we kind of
Really? Yeah.
don't know how we back it up. That's the like we put
Yeah.
it into,
Well, we
put
should
into
do something
bottle and
now,
sell it.
really.
Yeah, and then we kind of
Well, I suppose it's a musket essentially, or a tokai.
Tokai, yeah.
Topaik in Australia.
Oh,
Worst
yeah.
name. Worst name.
That is a bad
It's
Yeah.
a shit name.
Yeah.
Right, but we voted on it.
I think it's a sweet
collectively.
apera.
I
Is that
didn't
right?
vote
A
on
sweet apera?
Sweet apera.
Or
Yeah, it
was
could be. Yeah.
Cream apera
Cream.
cream or something. Yeah. I don't,
Yeah, nah. You suddenly knock like $15 a bottle off when you call
Yeah.
it cream.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cream
That
sherry.
just reminds me of
Yeah.
Berry State's boxed cherry. Cream cherry. Or, the... Yeah.
Well, Thomas Kennedy has chimed in going, do
Yeah.
you guys see demand growing in the Australian market for these kind of geographically specific artisan wine experiences?
Yeah.
I think more referencing, I guess, so you have Gruner from how many different sites?
Three, yeah.
Specific sites. And how did you, so there's, I assume the Arranmore vineyard in Adelaide Hills.
Yeah.
Well, we started with K1, buying fruit from Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
So that was our first.
In the Southern Hills?
In 2013. And then we were able to get some fruit from the guys at Longview in 2015. So that was our second.
The cool.
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
both are amazing vineyards, great growers, really awesome growers. And then, in 2000
Well, the year we bought our vineyards, I bought a little chainsaw as well and cut
up
the
the
Sauvignon Blanc out of it. And so cut the heads out of that,
Yeah.
grafted Gruner on top, and we got a crop a year later, pretty much, a
Yeah.
small one, but we cut that to the ground, and then the year after that we got a full.
Yeah, so 17 we didn't use. The fruit wasn't wasn't ready. We took cuttings from Jeff Hardy, so we've got the
Yep.
same clone as the K1. So it's really cool. We've got a clonal
that's so cool.
comparison between ours and K1. And 19 was our first release from that vineyard.
It's
So,
funny, when you graft
yeah.
onto Sauvignon Blanc roots, how vigorous it comes back. It's like the vine comes back with a vengeance.
Yeah, Gruner's pretty
Vigorous as well.
Yeah.
as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the site's not that vigorous. It's actually kind of it's good. It's
Pretty
It's got
thirsty
some
site.
competition
Yeah.
as well from some
Pines
pines,
and-
and so
Yeah.
it probably actually is a great spot to have it.
I remember, I think it was 2016 or 15, we grafted Fiano to Sauvignon Blanc roots, and the grower thought we were absolute wizards because in between, it was grafted in November, just trying to get like really late past the frosts. By March, it had grown to the wire, filled the wire, given lateral shoots, and given a ton per acre of crop. It was gnarly. It was incredible. And then the next year, it started every year, it started to come more and more back into balance. But the grower was like, "Oh, this is great! I can harvest it and make some money off it." And I was like, "No, don't do that! Just whatever you do, don't do that. Put it on the ground. Let it go back into the vine." Do you guys have a cellar door? Great question.
Yes, we do. We've got we're over in Carey Gully in the Piccadilly Valley.
Yeah, cool.
So we're open Friday through to Sunday, 12 to 5 every weekend.
Yeah, it's a cozy little space.
Yeah.
We've got, it's kind of we've got a little fire going at the moment, and
Got some
play
awesome
some
people that
records
work in there
and-
for us, Georgia, Nicole and Francis. So if you pop in, they'll always look after you, and we do wine flats. So you can do a mixed wine flat, or we do a single vineyard Pinot flat as well. So you can have a taste through some different Pinots from the Adelaide Hills, which is cool.
it's kind of in the winery too. So it is actually a real cellar
Yeah,
door.
so you can
it's not
actually
just-
see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's
just
an
a-
actual door to the cellar.
Yeah.
That's
Like
awesome.
your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom goes, "Thanks for answering. Do you guys see Fortifieds making a comeback?"
I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's
This
just
kind of style is, as you were saying earlier, has made a comeback, and it's quite trendy right now.
Like Mistel style.
Yeah, that kind of the Van John, that kind of thing that is trendy now. So I think it is making it already has made a comeback in a way. So, yeah.
I don't know.
What about Fino styles, like bone dry
absolutely.
peras?
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah.
When no one makes them.
Yeah, we might have to do that. That's how it might be our.
That would be something cool to do.
Gruner a la a pera.
Oh, I would love to do that. Yeah.
That would be
We're not
so
doing it
cool.
at Nat, but
Well, guys, we've got 9 minutes left. We're not going to let you guys leave here without having a crack at blind tasting yourself. Behind you there, Frewin,
oh, cool. Yeah.
we've got 3 different wrapped up bottles. I don't know what they are.
I like that.
But yeah, absolutely, go for it. Everyone goes for that shape because they hope it's Berg. And I do too. So sometimes we have actually been surprised. We've got a lot of French wine on the show. We went through an Austrian moment. We've basically gone to wine retailers, importers, and just said, hey, mix us up a dozen make sure it's completely sealed, give Laura the invoice,
Yeah.
and make sure I don't know. And then Noah's come by and he's sort of wrapped everything up, and he's been a massive stickler for the rules as well. So
Thanks,
Thanks,
yeah,
Noah.
we've had some really fun experiences actually so far. But there was a period where we had like 8 wines out of Austria in a row, and it was everything under the sun from Blaufränkisch, Zweigelt, Gruner. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. So what do you? There's Gruner, there's Pinot.
Yeah.
Pinot, because like you were obviously just focusing really, like it wasn't like an Austrian thing, it was just like you just love Pinot. Is it a Kiwi thing?
Pinot expresses sight so well.
Yeah.
Pinot's
It does.
really, really
Very
good.
much.
And where we are in the Piccadilly, there's so many different geological and aspects as well.
Yeah.
So and it's amazing how close the vineyards can be, but yet how far away they are in different styles and different,
And I think,
picked within days of each other, just climatically and soil-wise.
Yeah, I think you were saying earlier as well, like year after year, when you're doing a single vineyard wine, you start seeing the same characteristics year in, year out. And that's really what we've noticed with our single vineyard Pinots, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like even when they're fruit, the must, you're already seeing some of the characters and you're like, yes, that's that wine.
We see something really similar with, I remember when we first did, I might just give that a bit of a double rinse.
Yeah.
In Clare Valley, Polishall River, Fiano tasted pretty much exactly like Riesling, and a lot of people, it's like a very common comment is that Fiano out of Clare Valley tastes like Riesling. And our argument is that Fiano is one of those great varieties that does have the ability to be able to showcase site characteristics really well, but we all know from like white wines, Riesling is one of those. Riesling's sort of like the Pinot equivalent. I tend to sort of liken this, so incredibly accurately expressing different sites. And I do wonder whether or not when people are trying Clare Valley Fiano for the first time, they're actually tasting Clare Valley.
Yeah.
And there is inherent characteristics that are transcendent across varieties. But we also know this in areas like Langhorne, where you see saltiness, salinity, wininess.
Yeah.
It comes from there.
Yeah.
And then there's a myriad of different studies that are trying to showcase what minerality is and stuff. And I just think it's not purposeful. I don't think it's important for us to know the mechanism how, just that it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Adelaide Hills are so crazily complex and so
non-homogeneous. It's sort of weird. It's a little bit like Chile, as in a country, but just on a smaller scale. Really thin, very long, and very different.
Yeah, and so many different altitudes, sites, aspects. It's it's definitely, I don't think there is a regional character that's Adelaide Hills.
All right, I'm shoving the comments down, and Laura's going to let you know what we're tasting. I think it's red wine.
Yeah.
I think it's Gamay.
I think it's Bauge.
Yeah. So it's definitely whole bunchy, so it's got that whole bunchy, whole berry character, which really bright.
It feels like Gamay. It feels like Gamay. But is it Loire Gamay or is it Beaujolais Gamay?
Are those the only two options, or is it?
Do you know what it is?
I have no idea. But if it's like for me, I mean, look, if you go Gamay, and I don't know, there's something about. It's almost like when you smell German Rieslings and you know it's German from the smell. It's like a vegetal quality of German Riesling. And then there's like that sort of lime, hyper floral, QA23 yeast thing from Clare Valley Riesling. You're like, that's Clare Valley. But it's like
You start rocking again if you say QA.
It's like this is how you can make. I was joking with someone the other day. They thought I was actually serious. I'm like, if you gave me a whole bunch of Shiraz and like a gram a litre of carbon QA23 yeast, I could make it taste like Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Especially if you harvested at like 9% alcohol. And it kind of freaked them out a little bit. But QA23, worst thing ever.
Starting to open up a little bit now, which is nice.
But yeah, there's something about the smell here. Yeah, you're like for me, so right, jumping straight to Gamay.
Yeah.
And there's something about this that says it's French. Like I can't imagine this to be Australian.
Just a little bit of
carbonic sort of.
Maybe.
It gives it kind of maybe a steer towards the French.
I was thinking it's
winemaking, but
older world.
Oh yeah, it's got that kind of Yeah.
You watch, it's got to be some weird natural Nebbiolo from like Chevanesca, from like the Garda district, like Northern Italy. It's going to be something weird like that.
It's so bright and
It's not-
fresh. It's so
But super fresh.
Yeah, super fresh and super young.
Fine tannins, not hugely astringent.
And that's what surprises me because I find Gamay pretty tannic, pretty extracted. This thing has
could be a whole bunch of Pinot.
could
Although,
be.
Yeah.
Don't know.
yeah, there's some.
All right, Laura.
It is Old World.
It is Old World. Okay,
Cool.
It definitely has
What-
some whole bunch characters there, I think.
it's a bit candied.
Yeah.
What? All right. What
So
countries?
is it French, German, or Spanish?
I think. Oh. Yeah, the German one's a red herring, isn't
Oh,
it?
Yeah,
that's what I was just
German,
I'm like,
That's a red herring.
German Pinot. I mean, it could be.
Yeah, like really black forest,
Yeah.
like right down south.
But the tannin.
What do they call it? Is it Grauburgunder? Is that was it?
Spätburgunder.
Spätburgunder.
Spätburgunder, yeah.
Spätburgunder.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Party,
German,
party,
so I
yeah.
can get away with saying that. My last name's Helbig, so it's fine.
Where's over here?
But Brossen.
I just don't think the Germans would be satisfied with the level of microbial activity in this wine.
Yeah,
think
my
that's
instinct is
something.
French. I'm just, that's just kind
I'm
of
going
that's the
French.
obvious one. Yeah.
I'm going French.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's French.
It is French. So is it from Beaujolais,
Oh, hey.
Loire Valley, or Rhone?
I'm gonna say Beaujolais.
Okay.
Sort of very character, doesn't it?
You know, when I first got into wine, I was like really into heavily oaked Chardonnay. I'm not talking like really, like when you first get into wine. You know nothing about anything.
Yeah. I'm
Is
still
it-
really Chardonnay.
Ours isn't though. Ours is not heavily oaked.
Is there anything wrong with still being really heavily seduced by like reds that are just overtly carbonic, that are just like pure
I don't think so.
bubblegum?
Yeah, I mean it's a wine that has one. It's not necessarily one dimension, but it is dominated by one aspect. So which can be fun. That's
Asymmetric.
But if you buy that wine, that's what you're buying, right?
yeah.
So-
I'm going straight to Beauge as well. I think this is Beaujolais.
I'll jump on Beauge.
It is Beaujolais. That's all I have.
So therefore
variety.
It's Gamay.
It is Gamay.
Wow, this was a fun game. Cool game, guys.
Well-
cool.
yes.
Cool. Okay, what vintage is it? I mean, is it a single vineyard? Is it a cru?
It's Fleury.
Okay.
Well, we could have guessed that, but that's cool. Would have been Fleury and Moulin Avant.
Yeah.
I would have thought. Fleury's fantastic. And it would probably make sense. It's very pretty. Very pretty, no tannin. That's Fleury. What's vintage? 2018.
18 would be my guess. Yeah.
18.
18. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. That's
Wow.
boring.
Yeah.
What's that? Three professionals right here.
Yeah, that's right. It's like we take the fun out of everything.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true. Seriously,
Wow.
it's
I guess
It's super smooth.
like really, yeah.
I mean, I would drink the shit out of this.
Yeah.
I would dominate the shit out of this. In fact, I'm going to.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
going to happen.
Because it was a bit
yeah.
stinky to start with. I think
Yeah.
as that lifted off, you could see a little bit more of those fruit.
I think
that
that's
lovely fruit.
that kind of
there.
stinkiness comes with whole bunch, doesn't it? Really, have you noticed that? Just it's that kind of stink,
Yeah.
and it's almost what I said breathy, but there's a
It's breathy.
character
I think it's
that
breathy.
you think
It's
it's
a little
breathy.
bit. It's got a little bit of
Yeah,
bread.
I mean that's just
But like,
I think
does that
that's
come
why
with a whole
it's
bunch, or is
making-
that I always
that
confuse
comes with
it.
the producer.
it comes with high pH. that's what it comes with.
Okay, all right.
Comes with a high pH, but I do think the propensity for wines that have a little bit more whole bunch It's like it's inoculant at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And often whole bunch useless stem work will raise the pH anyway.
Yeah.
And so that inherently is going to mean that. But I also think like it's pretty much inherent with most gamay. I'm pretty sure most gamay showcases a lot of, unless it's from obviously a very industrialized producer. But this is fun. Like I'm a pretty liberal drinker. I will drink some very fucked up stuff.
Yeah. I can do a glass of of Bretty stuff, but if it's really shot the palate, I don't think this has. It's kind of complexing, isn't it?
So I pick it up probably more on the palate than I do actually on the nose.
And that's where I was picking up those. It's a nice soft wine, but then it has a bit of a grippy tanniny sort of.
Yeah, but there's an amazing elegance and smoothness to it on the palate. It is delicious.
Yeah.
And that really lifted nose. So
I think the fact that it was so. Like you picked that straight away on the nose.
Yeah.
Straight away, it's gamay.
I didn't put that in my mouth.
Yeah. You can actually pick it so quickly. I think that's sort of testament to the variety and the producer and just the concept of appellation as well. That because we've had a lot of gamays on the show and Beaujolais on the show, and particularly like high-end cru vineyards on the show as well.
Yeah.
That people were like, oh yeah, this is totally like Blaufränkisch from Austria.
Really, yeah.
Yeah, like really sort of, the fact, and this just speaks volumes. Like you can really sort of transport yourself there in an instant.
It's also the style too that goes along with gamay. Like I'd like to see, if gamay is not made whole bunch, then is that kind of this character that I'm seeing? Is it,
and there's a couple.
Is it the winemaking style, or is it the variety?
Well, even inside Beaujolais, there's basically two predominant schools of thought. I mean, the predominant one really is this sort of style, but there is like this old, because it was never done that way. That's a relatively new concept since like the 50s.
Yeah.
And so there's a bunch of sort of champions of this sort of old school style, and the wines look like Nebbiolo. They look like Barolo.
Yeah, wow.
And it's actually really quite appealing. It's really awesome. But if you're buying into a Beaujolais experience because of the popularity of these particular wines and producers, it's quite hard for people to be able to be accepting of something that is so drastically different, albeit it actually being the standard. But guys, we're running into Henry's time. Of course, Applewood Distilleries. Henry's going to be chiming in pretty much right now on an amazing round table of amazing gin producers working together to be able to bring you guys a whole bunch of fun this World
Coco.
Gin Day. Coco, when are we going
Coco.
rock climbing, Frewin?
I'm going this week.
Okay.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come on up. Candice, Frewin, cheers. Thank you so much. It's
Thanks for having us.
awesome to see you guys.
Cheers.
It's been too long between drinks.
Yeah.
Guys,
Cheers, guys.
we will catch you on Monday, same time as always, but stay tuned for Henry and Applewood Distillery.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother...